Question 1. Which vehicle will use a blue flashing beacon? A. Bomb disposal. Emergency vehicles use blue flashing lights. If you see or hear one, move out of its way as soon as it's safe and legal to do so. Question 2. Why must you take great care when emerging from this junction? D. The view is restricted. You may have to pull forward slowly until you can see up and down the road. Be aware that the traffic approaching the junction can't see you either. If you don't know that it's clear, don't go. Question 3. You're approaching a roundabout. What should you do if a cyclist ahead is signaling to turn right? B. Give the cyclist plenty of room. If you're following a cyclist who's signaling to turn right at a roundabout, leave plenty of room. Give them space and time to get into the correct lane. Question 4. You're following a long vehicle approaching a crossroads. What should you do if the driver signals right but moves close to the left-hand curb? C. Wait behind the long vehicle. When a long vehicle is going to turn right, it may need to keep close to the left-hand curb. This is to prevent the rear end of the trailer cutting the corner. You need to be aware of how long vehicles behave in such situations. Don't overtake the lorry, because it could turn as you're alongside. Stay behind and wait for it to turn. Question 5. You're joining a motorway from a slip road. How should you deal with traffic already on the motorway? B. Match your speed to traffic in the left-hand lane and filter into a safe gap. You should give way to traffic already on the motorway. Where possible, traffic may move over to let you in, but don't force your way into the traffic stream. Traffic could be traveling at high speed, so try to match your speed to filter in without affecting the traffic flow. Question 6. Which vehicle is most likely to take an unusual course at a roundabout? C. Long vehicle. Long vehicles might have to take a slightly different position when approaching the roundabout or going around it. This is to stop the rear of the vehicle cutting in and mounting the curb. Question 7. What does this sign mean? A. No entry. No entry signs are used in places such as one-way streets to prevent vehicles driving against the traffic. To ignore one would be dangerous, both for yourself and for other road users, as well as being against the law. Question 8. What does this sign mean? D. Route for trams only. Avoid blocking tram routes. Trams are fixed on their route and can't maneuver around other vehicles or pedestrians. Modern trams travel quickly and are quiet, so you might not hear them approaching. Question 9. What does this sign mean? D. Waiting restrictions apply. There'll be a plate or additional sign to tell you when the restrictions apply. Question 10. What's the meaning of this traffic sign? D. You have priority over vehicles coming towards you. Don't force your way through. Show courtesy and consideration to other road users. Although you have priority, make sure oncoming traffic is going to give way before you continue. If you learn dvsa theory test in proper way, you can download Theory Test app from the App Store, link in the description. Question 11. What does this sign mean? D. Tourist attraction. These signs indicate places of interest and are designed to guide you by the easiest route. They're particularly useful when you're unfamiliar with the area. Question 12. What does this sign mean? C. T junction. This type of sign warns you of hazards ahead. Make sure you look at each sign and road marking that you pass, so that you don't miss any vital instructions or information. This sign shows there's a T junction with priority over vehicles from the right. Question 13. What does this sign mean? B. Steep hill downwards. This sign gives you an early warning that the road ahead will slope downhill. Prepare to alter your speed and gear. Looking at the sign from left to right will show you whether the road slopes uphill or downhill. Question 14. You are in the left-hand lane at traffic lights, waiting to turn left. Which signal means you must wait? A. At some junctions, there may be separate signals for different lanes. These are called filter lights. They're designed to help traffic flow at major junctions. Make sure that you're in the correct lane and proceed if the way is clear and the green light shows for your lane. Question 15. Where would you see this road marking? D. On road humps. Because the road has a dark color, changes in level aren't easily seen. White triangles painted on the road surface give you an indication of where there are road humps. Question 16. What does this sign mean? B. End of motorway. When you leave the motorway, make sure that you check your speedometer. You may be going faster than you realize. Slow down and look for speed limit signs. Question 17. Which type of crossing allows cyclists to ride across while pedestrians are also crossing? C. Toucan. A toucan crossing is designed to allow pedestrians and cyclists to cross at the same time. Look out for cyclists approaching the crossing at speed. Question 18. What's a cover note? C. A document issued before you receive your insurance certificate. Sometimes an insurance company will issue a temporary insurance certificate called a cover note. It gives you the same insurance cover as your certificate but lasts for a limited period, usually 1 month. Question 19. You're turning right at a crossroads. An oncoming driver is also turning right. What's the advantage of turning behind the oncoming vehicle? B. You will have a clearer view of any approaching traffic. When turning right at a crossroads where oncoming traffic is also turning right, it's generally safer to turn behind the approaching vehicle. This allows you a clear view of approaching traffic and is called turning offside to offside. However, some junctions, usually controlled by traffic light filters, are marked for vehicles to turn near side to near side. Question 20. What should the driver of the red car, road, do? C. Wait for the pedestrian in the road to cross. Some people might take a long time to cross the road. They may be older or have a disability. Be patient and don't hurry them by showing your impatience. If pedestrians are standing at the side of the road, don't signal or wave them to cross. Other road users might not have seen your signal and this could lead the pedestrians into a hazardous situation. Question 21. What's the purpose of the yellow lines painted across the road? B. To make you aware of your speed. These lines may be painted on the road on the approach to a roundabout, a village or a particular hazard. The lines are raised and painted yellow, and their purpose is to make you aware of your speed. Reduce your speed in good time so that you avoid having to brake harshly over the last few meters before reaching the junction. Question 22. What's the main hazard the driver of the red car, road, should be aware of? D. The bus may move out into the road. If you can do so safely, give way to buses signaling to move off at bus stops. Try to anticipate the actions of other road users around you. The driver of the red car should be prepared for the bus pulling out. As you approach a bus stop, look to see how many passengers are waiting to board. If the last one has just got on, the bus is likely to move off. Question 23. You're in a built-up area at night and the road is well lit. Why should you use dipped headlights? A. So that you can be easily seen by others. You may be difficult to see when you're traveling at night, even on a well-lit road. If you use dipped headlights rather than side lights, other road users should be able to see you more easily. Question 24. Why should you reduce your speed when you're driving or riding in fog? A. It's more difficult to see what's ahead. You won't be able to see as far ahead in fog as you can on a clear day. You'll need to reduce your speed so that, if a hazard looms out of the fog, you have the time and space to take avoiding action. Traveling in fog is hazardous. If you can, try to delay your journey until it has cleared. Question 25. Why should you use your mirrors when you see a hazard ahead? C. to assess how your actions will affect the traffic behind. You should be constantly scanning the road for clues about what's going to happen next. Check your mirrors regularly, particularly as soon as you spot a hazard. What's happening behind may affect how you respond to hazards ahead. Question 26. What helps to reduce traffic bunching on a motorway? D. Variable speed limits. Congestion can be reduced by keeping traffic at a constant speed. At busy times, maximum speed limits are displayed on overhead gantries. These can be varied quickly, depending on the amount of traffic. By keeping to a constant speed on busy sections of motorway, overall journey times are normally improved. Question 27. Which sign shows that a tanker is carrying dangerous goods? B. Tankers will display a hazard warning plate on the side and rear of the vehicle. Details of hazard warning symbols are given in the highway code. If a tanker is involved in a collision, you may need to report the tanker's hazard labeling to the emergency services. Question 28. At night, what does it mean if you see a pedestrian wearing reflective clothing and carrying a bright red light? C. You're approaching an organized walk. The people on the walk should be keeping to the left, but don't assume this. Pass carefully, making sure you have time to do so safely. Be aware that the pedestrians have their backs to you and may not know that you're there. Question 29. What does it mean if the signs at a bus lane show no times of operation? A. The lane is in operation 24 hours a day. Bus lane signs show the vehicles allowed to use the lane and its times of operation. Where no times are shown, the bus lane is in operation 24 hours a day. Question 30. You're invited to a pub lunch. What should you do if you know that you'll have to drive in the evening? B. Don't drink any alcohol at all. Alcohol will stay in your body for several hours and may make you unfit to drive later in the day. Drinking during the day will also affect your performance at work or study. If you learn dvsa theory test in proper way, you can download Theory Test app from the App Store, link in the description. Question 31. You're driving in a slow-moving queue of traffic. What should you do just before changing lane? C. Look for motorcyclists filtering through the traffic. In queuing traffic, motorcyclists could be passing you on either side. Use your mirrors and check your blind area before changing lanes or changing direction. Question 32. You're waiting at a T-junction. What should you do if a vehicle is coming from the right, with its left indicator flashing? D. Wait until the vehicle starts to turn in. Other road users may give misleading signals. When you're waiting at a junction, don't emerge until you're sure of their intentions. Question 33. What should you do if your vehicle has a puncture on a motorway? B. Pull up on the hard shoulder or in an emergency refuge area and call for assistance. Pull up on the hard shoulder or in an emergency refuge area and call for assistance. Don't attempt to repair your vehicle while it's on the hard shoulder, because of the risk posed by traffic passing at high speeds. Question 34. You're driving along a country road. You see this sign. What should you do after dealing safely with the hazard? D. Test your brakes. If your brakes have been thoroughly soaked, you should check that they're working properly before you build up speed again. Before you do this, remember to check your mirrors and consider what's behind you. Question 35. When would you increase the pressure in your tires so that it's above the normal value? A. When carrying a heavy load. Check the vehicle handbook. This should give you guidance on the correct tire pressures for your vehicle and when you may need to adjust them. If you're carrying a heavy load, you may need to adjust the headlights as well. Most cars have a switch on the dashboard to do this. Question 36. What will happen if your car's wheels are unbalanced? C. The steering will vibrate. If your wheels are out of balance, it will cause the steering to vibrate at certain speeds. This isn't a fault that will put itself right, so take your vehicle to a garage or tire fitter to have the wheels rebalanced. Question 37. How can you use your vehicle's engine to control your speed? B. By changing to a lower gear. You should brake and slow down before selecting a lower gear. The gear can then be used to keep the speed low and help you control the vehicle. This is particularly helpful on long downhill stretches, where brake fade can occur if the brakes overheat. Question 38. What should you do when leaving your vehicle parked and unattended? B. Lock it and remove the key. An unlocked car is an open invitation to thieves. Leaving the keys in the ignition not only makes your car easy to steal but could also invalidate your insurance. Question 39. You're driving on a motorway at night. Which lights should you have on if there are other vehicles just ahead of you? A. Dipped headlights. If you're driving behind other traffic on the motorway at night, use dipped headlights. Main beam headlights will dazzle the other drivers. Your headlight's dipped beam should fall short of the vehicle in front. Question 40. You're driving on the motorway. Which lane should you get into well before you reach your exit? B. The left-hand lane. You'll see the first advanced direction sign 1 mile from a motorway exit. If you're traveling at 60 miles per hour in the right-hand lane, you'll only have about 50 seconds before you reach the countdown markers. There'll be another sign at the half-mile point. Don't cut across lanes of traffic at the last moment, move to the left-hand lane in good time. Question 41. What must you do if your eyesight has become very poor and you're no longer able to meet the driver's eyesight requirements? A. Tell the driver licensing authority. Having very poor eyesight will have a serious effect on your ability to drive safely. If you can't meet the driver's eyesight requirements, you must tell DVLA, or DVA in Northern Ireland. Question 42. Why should drivers be more careful on roads where trams also operate? A. Because trams can't steer to avoid obstructions. You should take extra care when you first encounter trams. You'll have to get used to dealing with a different traffic system. Be aware that trams can accelerate and travel very quickly, and they can't change direction to avoid obstructions. Question 43. What should you do when you leave your car unattended for a few minutes? B. Lock it and remove the key. Always switch off the engine, remove the key and lock your car, even if you're only leaving it for a few minutes. Question 44. What should you do to reduce the risk of your vehicle catching fire? B. Check out any strong smell of fuel. The fuel in your vehicle can be a dangerous fire hazard. If you smell fuel, check out where it's coming from. 1. Never use a naked flame near the vehicle if you can smell fuel, smoke when refueling your vehicle. Question 45. You're driving a car that has a diesel engine. What can a loose filler cap on your fuel tank cause? D. It can make the roads slippery for other road users. Diesel fuel can spill out if your filler cap isn't secured properly. This is most likely to occur on bends, junctions and roundabouts, where it will make the road slippery, especially if it's wet. At the end of a spell of dry weather, road surfaces may be especially slippery where diesel has been spilled but it hasn't been washed away by rain. Question 46. You're driving past parked cars. What should you do if you see a bicycle wheel sticking out between the cars? C. Slow down and be prepared to stop for a cyclist. Scan the road as you drive. Try to anticipate hazards by being aware of the places where they're likely to occur. You'll then be able to react in good time. Question 47. What would you expect to find at a contraflow system on a motorway? A. Lower speed limits. When approaching a contraflow system, reduce speed in good time and obey all speed limits. You may be traveling in a narrower lane than normal, with no permanent barrier between you and the oncoming traffic. Be aware that the hard shoulder may be used for traffic and the road ahead could be obstructed by slow-moving or broken-down vehicles. Question 48. Are passengers allowed to ride in a caravan that's being towed? A. No, not at any time. Riding in a towed caravan is highly dangerous. The safety of the entire unit is dependent on the stability of the trailer. Moving passengers would make the caravan unstable and could cause loss of control. Question 49. Which driving technique can help you save fuel? Missing out some gears. Missing out intermediate gears, when appropriate, helps to reduce the amount of time spent accelerating and decelerating, the times when your vehicle uses the most fuel. Question 50. You're leaving your vehicle parked on a road and unattended. When may you leave the engine running? C. Never if you're away from the vehicle. When you leave your vehicle parked on a road, switch off the engine and secure the vehicle. Make sure no valuables are visible, shut all the windows, lock the vehicle, and set the alarm if the vehicle has one. If you learn dvsa theory test in proper way, you can download Theory Test app from the App Store, link in the description. Thanks for watching the video.